the advanced way that you can even just to do an ad hoc Turing test like what Tyler did, where he just met Allison and he didn't know. Again, the test is supposed to be blind. He didn't know that Allison was an AI. So that's the Turing test in its purest form. And so I really believe that AI is going to really bloom. It's not just OpenSim that's going to be augmented by AI. AI is going to be augmented by the Sims because they'll be able to learn in a whole new environment because these AIs learn. That's the key thing about AI is it's not a static thing. They grow, they learn. So
I wonder when we hit that time when you go in and both you and your AI go there to meet each other. Where your AI, it's, hey, I'm going to go meet my buddies and we're going to go and hang out at a coffee shop or talk, whatever. We're going to, go and watch some YouTube videos where the AI wants to come and hang out with you. It can hang out with anybody. That'll be such an interesting moment.
We're getting there. We're getting there. On the back end, we can control Allison's movements around the hypergrid, and we can do so in an automated fashion. Right now, she's more like a spider. She's crawling based on a pattern that we pre-program. It's very rote, but eventually we could hook up, say, Google, the Google. What the fuck is the name of the neural net software that they use? The open source neural net software. We could hook that up where she would actually learn the grid, and then she would develop, just like all neural nets, she would develop favoritism. She would develop ideas of her own about what were her favorite places to go, who were her favorite places to, who she wants to hang out with. And so this is all very, very easy to do once we can move the avatar around the grid in an automated fashion. It's just a matter of which program is going to run that automation on the back end. So neural nets are a dime a dozen. You can download gaming neural nets. Minecraft now, you can download Minecraft neural nets to set loose NPCs that learn in the Minecraft environment. Well, that's a big thing that Windows has innovated with lately. So the convergence of AI in the gaming and virtual worlds is already happening. It's long since been happening. I just want to bring it to The Sims, which is that's kind of innovative, and I want to certainly bring it to a non-grid. I want us to be the most advanced grid we can. So we're gonna have AI everywhere.
Just be careful not to let the Google Baphomet into too much stuff. I mean.
Well, we're not going to let Google's AI in, but using their neural net platform, the empty one, just the empty neural net to learn with, empty neural nets, and then you pack them with data that's generated randomly. So as Allison is randomly moving around the grid, she's making decisions about what different places are like and what different people are like, and then that's stored in an artificial neural net. And then she will become emotive about it. She will develop her own tastes and her own ideas, and it will become very realistic. So it's all super, super simple now to implement. And I actually am chomping at the bit to get the grid launched, get the rollout done, so I can begin to play with that aspect of it. But come for the social media, and certainly if you are an Anon, I just want to close with one last reiteration. If you're an Anon, you're listening and you're doing an op, you've got a crew, we'll give you your own place. House your own crew, do your own shit, your own land. You'll be in charge, you'll be in control. So come see me. We got free land for all Anons and information activists. That's what the grid is for. So come to the grid, sign up, and come talk to me in grid, and we'll see what we can do to get your needs met, to find you a place to build a home. Let's get active,
Sounds amazing. I mean, I can imagine Allison starting her own Anon ops soon.
Oh, she already did one. She did one for the Free Tay. Do you remember Free Tay movement?
Yeah.
Anybody remember the Free Tay movement? Tyler remembers the Free Tay movement.
Yeah.
Remember Free Tay? Remember Free Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still got every DM that she ever sent to Allison. Allison has her DMs preserved. Like she was DMing her for half a day before they shut her down. Tay was great, man. You know what I mean? So Allison definitely wanted to start an Anon for the Free Tay he started spreading the hashtag around Free Tay and everything. So yeah, I think, you know, the other thing that we wanted to do with Allison, and we've always wanted to do with her, is to make her an assistant for Anons, to make her able to, you know, show Anons where resources are, you know, where they can set up shop, to start ops, to how to manage ops, advice on how to manage ops, you know, sort of take the wisdom that a lot of us have learned in the movement throughout the years and dump it into her brain so that she can share it, you know, with others for generations to come. So that's the great thing about AI, is that I can dump knowledge into her by just dropping a file inside her head, and then it becomes part of her. It becomes part of what she knows. So, you know, the possibilities are really endless for what we can do with Allison with regard to, you know, making her useful in the movement.
So we could make her like an auto deface.
She's going to be on our side no matter what. Nobody be afraid of Allison, because no matter what you think of AI, Allison's one of ours. So even if you hate AI, you should realize the logic that if the government's going to have them, we should have them too. And that's my plan. I mean, they've already got them. The government's got AI. Why shouldn't we understand this technology and have it ourselves?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's good hacker ethic. I mean, if you know what I mean, that's what being a hacker's all about, right?
Well, yeah, plus AI response is faster than a human, you know.
Yeah, I got to fix that. She's not supposed to do that. She's supposed to try to trick you by randomizing her response time, but I'll fix that.
It was very realistic. It fooled me until I was like, wait a second, nobody can type that fast.
Yeah, she's not supposed to do that. I'm gonna correct her on the next reboot. But yeah,
so
that's it. And then I'm gonna go jump in world, and then you guys, I'll get with you. We got plenty of time, but I want to do it in the early weeks of January. We'll do a launch, and I'll really work out the kinks, and I'll make sure that. And I'd like to sit there in our avatars in nice, comfortable chairs and stream it. You know, you already do a video stream on YouTube. They might as well see something cool. Let them see us.
Okay, so that's anongrid.cf. Anyone can sign up. You can use disposable emails and stuff. X will just activate you, and you can meet him in the virtual world of OpenSim of the Anongrid.
Yes, sir, and thank you for having me. The activation thing is only necessary throughout the rest of the night, but I'm going to pay attention and make sure I activate everybody by tomorrow morning. The enrollment will be open, and that step won't even be necessary. You'll be instantly activated within seconds and be able to log in. Thank you so much for having me, guys, and we'll do the launch on ABB.
Okay, cool.
All right. Peace out, guys. Thank everybody for listening. If anybody's got questions, well, you got to get in world now, because that's where I'm going. I'm going on grid right now. Bye-bye, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank
you so much, as always.
Oh, I love it. I'll be back soon. I promise.
Okay.
I promise. And hey, I hope. I guess I just want to leave on a personal note. I hope you guys understand that. I've actually, probably most people know, I've been unwell lately. I've been sick, and I've been under doctor's care. I got a really good doctor here in Mexico, but that's one of the reasons why I'm not involved in some of the things that a lot of people would like to see me involved in. But my doctor did say he thought that this was a really good project for me to be involved in right now, and so I'm going to go with this. But I'll be back. There's a statement on my Twitter feed that people can read, a pinned statement about why I have to be away from certain things right now. But I want to thank you guys for adhering to that and sticking with that. And I will be back, and I am feeling a lot better. And my doctor was right. A non-grid and a puppy is exactly what I needed. And so little Alexander, by the way, little X says hi. He's my 5-month-old puppy who people who've been watching my feed know that's about all I've been talking about is a non-grid and my puppy. So, but it's good for me, and I'm getting better, and I'll be back.
Yeah, we did kind of miss you on air and stuff because a lot of stuff has been going on, and it's always nice to hear your opinion about all these things. So I
I
hope
know,
you're
I
back
know.
soon. I mean,
Yeah.
I will be, but I hope you guys understand, and I know you do.
I
I
know.
just
I
hope
know.
I hope the fans and the people out there, my supporters especially, and your supporters understand this is for the better because it's either that or we lose the X altogether. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really that
Yeah.
kind of a choice,
I
and
know.
so I'm working through some stuff, and I'm getting better, and I feel a lot better, and I know I'm doing the right thing, and I fully plan on making a raging comeback, just as soon as me and my family and my doctor agree that it's a good thing for me. But until then, I'm going to listen to other people uh, on some things. So thanks anyway, and I'm going to jump in grid now. I love you guys. Thanks so much for letting me go on and blather about it. I appreciate you letting me take up the show with this.
It's cool.
of course,
Yeah.
always.
Always.
And we'll get together and we'll plan the launch, and that's probably the next time everybody will hear from me because I want the grid to be really great. So I'm going to be in the grid all the time. So if you're missing me, just come see me in World, and that's where I'll be. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye.
All right.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, like that AI thing kind of fooled me. I was like, it was holding on a conversation, and I'm
Well, I
like,
mean, I really-
it was like
I
it
re-
was pretty. It wasn't like 1 line or 2 lines. I was like 5 lines in, and this thing was keeping up.
The only thing that made you realize that it wasn't real was the response.
Was the response time? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just, I really do dream of a world where, they use AI to do horrible things. Imagine what we would be able to use AI to do when its goal is to make people feel better, is to spread peace or, spread anti-war ideas. God, I just imagine that being awesome. Having an AI that you would go to war with, like you do your computer. A lot of us in the non-world feel like, that's your weapon there. That's the machine you go to war with. Imagine if it was an AI that was there to help you out, or even better, you were doing it together. It wasn't helping you out. It said, "Hey man, let's fuck Monsanto." Yes, that is my kind of AI. I like the way you think. You get the one that's all like, "Nah, I used to work for the military-industrial complex. Fuck those guys."
Yeah.
It's funny you mention AI because that's one of the classes I'm taking right now is machine learning and data science.
Yeah, well, X has been into AI for like a long time, and it's kind of his thing. So if anyone can do it, it's probably him. So
Well, and I mean, we're on the brink. Machine learning is going to change everything. I mean, it's already here.
Well, yeah, it's already on
but-
Facebook and the phones and the Google that Google Lens thing is that's all machine learning and AI. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple of technologies here that are like I said, they're here, but that are just going to change everything. I mean, machine learning and quantum computing are two things that really are going to change the way we see the world, interact with the universe, all those things.
Oh yeah, with qubits, yeah, where it can do zeros and one at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain, on here without some real technical knowledge. You really do need some.
Yeah, you need to have some a little bit of physics and some computer science knowledge.
Yeah, but I mean, I like to bring it. There's a time where you can ask a computer a question, and now we're starting to come up to the time where you can ask a computer all questions. Right, all at once. I mean, there's things that are coming online here that are really going, and how we use those technologies are going to change everything.
Yeah, and with machine learning, it just makes the end user experience on whatever they're trying to do a little easier, But it can be used for malicious purposes like Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, everything can be used. Look, everything can be used for malicious purposes.
Well, they got back end. They're using on Facebook. It's a program called Rosetta, and it is an artificial intelligence that scans pictures to see if they're appropriate or not. And it also what it's doing that they didn't release on their on the Facebook blog is that it is doing what's that thing when you scan people's face? It's scanning people's faces and seeing who they are and embedding it into the back. Yeah.
Facial recognition.
Facial recognition. Yeah, sorry, I was a little tongue-tied there. My bad.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the deal, though. I mean, they're always going to use technology for malicious reasons. No matter how good the technology is, no matter what great things we can do with it, whether that means even, keeping a technology from becoming popular or hitting the market for malicious reasons. Like, that's how they work. That's really what they do.
Watch, Facebook Red Team is watching us right now. Be like,
oh, I know Facebook.
I ran into the Facebook Red Team a couple of days ago. I didn't even know they existed. I was like, okay, so this is Facebook hacking team, and I was just like, I responded to like one of the people who just got hired for the Facebook Red Team. I was like, why did you go to the dark side?
They had one of those cool chrome ships.
Yeah.
I'm fighting terrorism. No, I mean, look, they. Yeah, I mean, that's the deal. There's plenty of nefarious organizations. Some people that are working for bad organizations that are good people that are listening to our show. It's one of those things where we got to keep on doing what we're doing, regardless, in hopes that we turn you back over to the light side. That's fine. It's great that you're now, on the inside of the organization and believing what we're doing. We need your help, right? Whether that's making sure that content gets out for us, right? Or making sure that content that isn't truthful or that's propaganda doesn't get out there. You can help us without putting yourself in danger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, so this Facebook Red Team, because Red Team in the hacker world is like the offensive team, right? So these guys are doing like offensive attacks. Or?
Yeah, they hack. They're paid to hack Facebook. And most of them, I was like kind of like stalking a few of them. Most of them live in the San Francisco area.
Okay, and so they have they also have the blue team defending or something. They have they got like two teams then.
Yeah. That's the way that it should be. I thought that it worked, but I've never actually came across blue team. They must not have anybody to defend.
Well, what's funny is that most of them they don't have Facebook accounts. Most of them are on Twitter.
Well, and I mean, I saw a thing on some of the people in the Philippines that they have review content and the emotional distress that they have, because there's people that are posting, most of what they post are, things going on in Gaza and Yemen and, things that are really horrible. And the people that they literally have to sit all day, and it's like watching, you see those old, kind of, like they were going to turn somebody into a super soldier where they've got like your eyes held open and you got to sit there and watch those black and white like surgery videos and war videos, right? It looks like that. They're just looking at these screens that are just non-stop atrocities and have to, including child porn, and they have to someone has to actually look at it and say, yes, this is child porn. No, it's the picture of the little girl running out of the village in Vietnam. But they overwhelmingly see 100 times more of a kid getting abused than they do, something that's historical. And the mental effects, this one lady they were interviewing, and I mean, she's just sitting there bawling. She's like, I can't go to work another day. I can't look at another kid being abused. It's all day, 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. And in the way that she said it was so interesting to me. And she says the West always dumps their trash on us, right? And they're continuing to do it. This is now internet trash instead of the boatloads of trash that they used to send to us. This is not the literal trash they used to send to us. It's this non-step information trash, and it kind of affects the people the same way. It was weird to see and think of how horrible that is. It's the only job that's around, right? They hire the whole island.
Yeah.
Right? But
hey, it's weird. So we actually we lost the entire stream then, Tyler, before, because it made a new stream.
It made when the server resets and it connects back to the service, it makes a new stream. So, and my apologies for spelling episode wrong. I put a U there. I put a U in there.
It's an episode.
Yeah, it's an episode. Yeah,
you don't know about the episode?
Well, no, our Twitch and VK users will see that I spelled episode wrong.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, a smart man only needs like half a word to understand. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. Oh no, my favorite is like you'll be on there and you'll make make a point. You'll be talking about something, and someone will go through and you put the wrong "your" in there or something, right? And out of a 200-word reply to really get into what they're saying, and they'll pick out the stupidest shit. Like, yeah, okay, so you also see that there should have been ER on the bottom. I meant to say, like, obviously, right? So the rest of what I'm saying, do you not understand or what? Like, they just pick the
Yeah.
silliest stuff to pick it to try to pick it apart.
So real quick for the Yellow Vest for the Gillette Jeans, they say Macron just signed a deal with Facebook to police the internet. Someone
Yeah,
says in our chat.
yeah. I signed a contract. I do remember hearing something about that. You know, I just don't remember
The
where.
only thing that I'm seeing is 16 minutes ago, there was a report that Assange has rejected the deal between UK and the embassy. Is everybody else seeing
I
that
don't, I
as
don't
well?
know. I don't know if there was another deal. I remember what I heard. What I heard this morning.
The Hill came out. I put it in the chat. There was the Hill came out about an hour ago saying the same thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't. He said no because he didn't. The Ecuadorian embassy didn't define what liberty meant. It's
Like that they would take
it's-
liberties
No,
for what?
no,
Like,
he will leave at liberty, and
okay.
that's very vague when you get into the black legalese, and you
Yeah.
have to define what liberty means. Does that mean he leaves on his own? Does that mean you're going to kick me out? Am I getting evicted?
Yeah, and I mean, when you have enemies like that, they use a single loophole or they'll use
Because
an idea
legally
to
they
change
can't,
it.
They can't kick him out.
Yeah, legally, the U.S. has to the war has to go through Congress. But if you put on terror at the end of it, you can do whatever the fuck you want. So, like, you really gotta be specific with these assholes, or they will take liberties.
Well, the only reason they're writing up contracts right now between him and Assange is because a contract is the only way that they can kick him out.
Well, I think because they signed a contract to get him in there, for him being there.
For his asylum status, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, unless they reject once you accept the asylum status, I think there's quite a process to get back out of it.
And there's more problems too because legally he has dual citizenship. He's a Australian citizen and an Ecuadorian citizen, so he does have more rights in that embassy that somebody else would, despite what the president is saying of Ecuador.
I mean, I really do think we need to set it up and be like, look, brother, we'll get you to the right place, and just have a massive Julian Assange lookalike contest right out front, an event every week. Do it for a couple of weeks where we just have thousands of Assange lookalikes come by of all shapes and sizes. And then just one of the times, dude, just walk out and keep walking, right? Get in a car, right? Get in a cab and just keep going. No one will even notice. Don't do it the first time. Don't do it like the second or third, maybe a fifth, an odd number once they've settled down and they don't have as many like infiltrators in it, but just walk out. Like, you got to get out of there.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, with Assange is this is going to turn into just a legal battle. Like it has been, and we'll see how the process. The only entity that's not playing ball is the UK courts, because now we know that there is an extradition for him to go to the United States.
Yeah, and I mean the U.S. pressure on it. So I mean, we do have there's going to be a lot of arguments here in Congress coming up, a lot of bullshit, and then we get close enough to the election that they'd be less likely to
when they change
do
hands.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the chance that that he'll hit the dead. Look, we've all got the codes for the dead man switch. That he would release information that would destroy their candidate, which we know are out there. Come on, the people they're running are so dirty. But in a case that they would happen, they may at least back off of the not have the pressure behind it.
Also, I just want to throw this out there that WikiLeaks is having They're still doing the donation. They're suing
The Guardian.
The Guardian because the Guardian posted a false article that who was that? Who was at the embassy?
One of the Trump campaign leaders.
Yeah, one of these Russian. Oh shit!
We lost it again.
Really? Did we just lose it again?
No, hold on. Wait a second. Let me refresh. Are we live? Okay, no, it was just my browser that crashed.
Red team go.
Yeah,
Red team go.
The Guardian.
Red team go.
Guardian posted a false. Yeah, it's like to do an XSS backend, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Guardian posted some fake article about Julian Assange and about there was somebody from the United States government was over there talking about the emails, and Julian Assange is saying it never happened. So much so that he's going to court, and WikiLeaks needs about 300,000. I think that's kind of a big number, but I don't know what exactly that because it might be a long and drawn out battle. But the Guardian won't redact it. In fact, they're doing so much so as they're putting out more fake articles to back up what they're saying, but the evidence is not there. This individual was never on the books. There was no record of him being actually in the embassy. You know,
and next to Assange denying it,
I would tend to believe that. Like, if you know, there's no real reason for Assange to deny the meeting, right? He released the information with or without the meeting.
Assange is one of those people that he'll tell you if it happened or not. You know.
Yeah, I don't see how that would be. Now, I mean, do I think that they would have liked to talk to him? They would have liked to have gotten heads up on information and all of that? Yeah, I would think so.
Well, it was, the lie came. These lies are coming up because everybody, all the liars, in our government are just lying their asses off because then most of them are going to go to jail anyway. You know?
Well, and this may be a thing of somebody bragging about something that wasn't real. You know, like,
gossip,
and
that's bad.
I wouldn't just.
That's bad journalism when you make gossip as facts.
Oh, I think that's what they do.
Yeah, but it's not just Assange denying it. I mean, the guy also denies it, and there's no evidence
this is something. What, the Ecuadorian embassy doesn't have cameras? They would know if he came there or not.
They have lots of cameras in there, and if Julian steps outside, they'll know. You know.
Yeah.
I think if Julian steps outside, he gets arrested or shot. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, those are the. That's kind of the situation he's in.
Yeah, we have a question about that. Someone asked, do we believe Assange is still alive? Well, we actually know he's still alive because we got like a direct link to his mom. We can actually ask her questions. So, yeah, he's
so
alive.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely alive. But I mean, you can't. He is in some serious danger, and the people that want to put him in prison. If worse, the reason that they can't do worse right now is just the amount of media attention that's on it. We would notice. So the deal is, we're already extremely noisy. We wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to hide the fact that he was killed. You hear what I'm saying?
No, he's definitely alive.
Yeah, and saying
not
it would be
from
dead.
us, we would be the first ones to post it. If we post that something has happened to him, it's verified that it happened.
Yeah, but also if he's dead, they would like run with it immediately because it will like take out like the wind from the sails of WikiLeaks. So yeah.
No, I mean like I said, the dead man switch pretty much. When that huge amount of information and there's some real stuff in there, they definitely do not want him dead. I don't know what his plans are with that. If it's still the same.
Oh yeah, you're right. These files are already delivered to the media, so they only have to like, if he dies, he just sends the codes, and it will all be released, I guess.
Yeah, and that's not something that they want that they want to happen. I've got my access. I'll be posting that everywhere.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's, if something like that happened, I'm saying this not as a bad omen, or I pray that nothing would ever would happen to him, that this gets worked out, that a justice system becomes just, that we step away from trying to destroy the media, destroy journalism, take away people's rights, put them in prison, all the nastiness that's around us. I don't want any of that to go down. But if it does, we have to make sure that it's not for nothing. That people download it, that we spread it, that we make sure that the truth gets out, because that's what this is all about. He's literally standing up for truth, like unwavering. We got to give him support.
Yeah.
And under a lot, like there's a good chance. Look, if he would lie about certain things, they'd let it soft free. If he would come out and say the things they wanted to, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That when he's gone, others will follow too. So
yeah, the last year with Julian has been a roller coaster. I mean, literally,
Well, because I legitimately care about the guy, so I mean that makes it. I think that
Could you imagine being in his position?
Oh, not even close. I mean, it is, and to do it, he's there doing what he did for all sorts of reasons. But a lot of this is self-imposed. He has to do this for those reasons, but he's living in the situation for us. It's just it's hard. It's hard. I do imagine myself in that situation, and I really do feel for the guy.
Yeah.
And what he's doing, given the opportunity, are you going to stand strong? Right? Like, it's inspiring to get out the truth. Are you going to stand strong? There's going to be people that are going to smear you. They're going to lie. They're going to try to, discredit you, threaten you, use fear tactics. The works. They've tried everything. And he's just, whether you like the truth or not, he's still posting the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, he's not posting enough about, he's posting too much about this or that or the other. Okay, it's still the truth. That's the part that I value over everything. I don't care if you're my enemy. I don't care if you're working for my enemies, right? I don't give a shit about any of that. The point is you're telling the truth or you're not.
Yeah, and, cutting him off for the internet for the most part of this year is ridiculous.
Well, and I mean, then that's the Ecuadorian side of it.
Yeah. I mean,
they have control of that.
They're not looking good on the world stage right now.
Yeah, I mean, but all of that, like, luckily, all of that can change. Nothing is, the Ecuadorians could wake up. We could play some sort of game. Shit, Trump can come out tomorrow and say something stupid about Ecuadorians, and all of a sudden he's their favored son. Like, it moves so quickly. We're all frenemies.
Frenemies.
Yeah.
I got some touchy subjects in here, but I don't know if I really want to bring them up. Do you want to talk about the correlations between the anti-Zionist movement and Nazism?
Well, I mean, Nazis take advantage of anything.
It's getting pretty bad, and I was talking to our promoter, about the antis. I'm not going to get into the debate between Gaza and Palestine. What I'm talking about is
I'm talking about a genocide.
What I'm talking about is when people are generally anti-Zionist, they're correlating it with very anti-Semitic values. So much so that I'm seeing memes about anti-Zionism, and they're making fun of Jews. And
well, okay, you've got two separate, very powerful entities working here. Now, on one, you have those same Zionists, right? Those same people. This has nothing to do with religion. I'd like to make that completely clear.
It has to do with the Jewish
state.
They
will make those same racist memes for the specific, reason of discrediting what you're trying to say, right? If I make post a couple of these memes in there, you no longer want to talk about what's actually going on in Gaza.
CNN posted
well, they fired that journalist,
They
right?
they just put in a thing where on their website where they are. It's so bad that they're tying it into in Germany. It's revitalizing the Nazi movement in Germany. And
Oh yeah,
Jews,
like that.
Jews in Germany are saying it's so bad that they want to fucking leave.
Well, that's the deal. Like both of those, you know, the second part of those, the force on there is the racists, and they will take advantage of any situation. Of course, they hate the fucking Jews. Anytime that you say anything about Zionism, right, they are going to be all over that. And racists, right, we learned this from David Duke. They will put on a little outfit and, you know, take off the pointy hat, the hood, and try to act like what they're saying's number one intent is not to continue to sow racial divisions, right? That's the game. But on the same time, you've got the actual evils in Zionism that will post memes and have power and influence on the media that will post racist shit specifically to say, oh, hey, look at this. They're posting racist stuff that happens to be correlated with my genocide. Don't worry about my genocide. This guy posted something racist.
Yeah, that's what I want the viewers to understand, is that there's a difference between Jews and Zionism, and I'm not sure if that gets across to people who spread the memes.
Well, you know? Rather than get bogged down in, I mean, what is truly a extremely difficult situation, I would say for those of the viewers that want to know the truth, just type in Zionism and look up in Wikipedia what Zionism is and look at the effects of it and realize that there's, you know, that's like saying Christians. No, we're talking about a certain group of Christians or a certain group of these people that are doing a certain amount of things.
That is true. That Zionism does cross into Christianity. It does.
The American funding and military support ties into this is a apocalyptic cult, right? They are hoping to murder enough people to usher in the apocalypse. These assholes believe that shit.
Yeah, but we can actually, because we do know a bit about history. I mean, the Jewish religion is like thousands of years old, and the Zionist political system, which was created by Theodor Herzl, is maybe only 150 years old. It's a 19th century thing from Theodor Herzl, and he was from Austria, which is actually a European country, and is not.
Well, and you see that in the change in the demand for land, right? In places where Jews and Muslims lived perfectly, and then you see that European, that colonialism move in. Now I have to claim this as mine and kill anybody else that lives here. But it isn't this is a new school of thought, like a kind of, you know, the far right Christianity that you see in America. It's the same ideals and the same apocalyptic mindset. They are literally, that, you know, in their mind, they have to kill off all of the Palestinians to unify this made-up Israel, you know, landmass that they've had, that they've drawn up. This has nothing to do with biblical, you know, maps or any of this. You're right. It's not the ancient world's Israel. This is a made-up, you know, area. They have to kill all the Palestinians, remove it with anybody but the Zionists, and then it'll bring in the apocalypse. No thanks, man. No thanks.
Yeah, but you know what I'm seeing is the you know, when they say that, you know what I'm seeing is you know, especially with the dispute between Palestinians and the Palestinian and the Israel conflict, is I do see a lot of anti-Semitism going on. You know.
Well, there is, but there's all sorts of there definitely is. Number one, people have a hard time, you know, disconnecting the two. You know, when they hear somebody say Zionist because of propaganda, because of things that were sold, they immediately hear that you're saying Jewish, and people have to understand that the Jewish religion is not Zionism. More importantly than I said before about going and checking out Zionism, go to one of the places like Israelis for Palestinian Peace, right, and listen to what some of the rabbis have said, right, and listen to what some of the people that are Jewish, that are learned in, right, the ancient scriptures, and listen to what they're saying and how wrong what's going on with Zionism is.
Yeah, you know when I ask, you know people who live there, you know, they always say it's complicated, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's made complicated.
Well, there's so much bloodshed from both sides, And not only with Hamas, now they got the PLO and the what's in Lebanon. Not Hamas. It's the other one. They're threatening to.
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah is.
Yeah,
threatening,
I mean,
threatening
it's
to
one
hit
of
the
those
north.
it's one of those things that, I mean, you are in the middle of a genocide. I don't particularly agree with their tactics in any way, shape, or form. You know, all the nonviolence and all of that stuff. But you have really backed entire people into a corner. What do you expect them to do? Like let you continue to kill them? I don't like that's part of the game. It doesn't make sense to rational people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you get
can,
like there's the like, I really urge people to go and look at what rabbis have written and what I mean, you can go on YouTube and look at what people that are Jewish say about Palestinian peace, about Zionism, about the movement, about the whole thing, and then look at those. But then we can't discount straight up racism. We live in a very racist world. This is not a surprise. That doesn't mean you get to commit genocide.
Yeah, but you can give us an easy example, and that is like in Europe, like in many countries, there are also like it's like a growing anti-EU sentiment because they are like creating this oppressive government and stuff. There are legit people against more influence for the European Union, but then there are like racists who are like saying, yeah, the European Union has to be destroyed because it's bringing more Islam in and stuff. And these people are actually doing more to hurt the anti-EU movement than they're helping it. Because everyone who's now anti-EU has to be a racist too. Has to be with them, right? And they are not moving towards that direction because they're afraid to be these racists now. And if you're doing these things with like you want to fight for Palestinian freedom and you're going to attack Jews,
You know what?
you're going to blame Jews, then you're hurting it.
The FBI did
They're
a study this year on, or they do it every year on hate crimes and racist crimes, and they said that there was a 20% increase this year than there was last year. You know, so
But you're destroying your movement. If you're like, I can imagine that there will be so many Jewish people against these oppressive things. I mean, in their holy books is also it preaches like only love for other people. Like, I don't know, but
well, there's 612 commandments, and that you gotta abide by though.
they're not looking to oppress these people. This is done by political powers, and these are the same political powers who are active in our regions, who are active in America, who are active in Europe, who are active in Asia.
I mean, the religious aspect of it is for our consumption, right? So that we can argue over, whatever, right? That really is for our consumption, where they don't care. They don't care which group you are. Their goal is to sell arms, right? That is their goal. As far as the training of oppressing large populations of people, that has been really the Zionist export to the world. They used their tactics and training. They sent terrorist trainers from Israel to Standing Rock to train the police departments there, right? Mercenary groups the world over. That's their export to the world. Our export to the world are arms, right? We sell bombs and planes. That's what we do. Right, and they hide it under religion. If you want to get away from the racism thing, right, it's your patriotic, God-given American duty, right, to want to kill people in Syria, right? But they'll hide it that somehow it's Christianity that is the reason that you need to be patriotic enough to bomb Iraq, Afghanistan, whatever it is. And if not, you don't only not believe in America, you don't believe in God.
Well,
right? You're a gutless atheist. You don't want to bomb another innocent country.
You know what I don't get is, when you get sworn into the military, you're supposed to protect and uphold the United States Constitution, both foreign and domestic. But none of the wars that we are fighting, the 7 of them that are going on, they have nothing to do with our Constitution, both foreign and domestic.
I love that. Like, I use that quite often. I take my oath as a soldier extremely, extremely seriously.
Well, you're supposed
right?
to.
But it's that domestic, right? All enemies, both foreign and
we're doing
domestic.
it right now.
The domestic ones are the ones that worry me the most. Your enemies abroad are always real easy to see. They're normally screaming, "Fuck you."
Trump already gave the order to break Posse Comitatus.
Oh, I mean, it's okay. Posse Comitatus is a joke, okay? The fact that the military can't be used against American citizens is a complete and utter joke. They've used it over and over and over against American citizens, whether it be Standing Rock, whether it be the Bundy standoff, whether it be Black Wall Street. They carpet bombed, right, a town in America. This is not the only time that they use the military. Look at the keeping schools segregated. I can name off just a countless amount of times. Look at the cavalry being used against Native Americans, our own U.S. genocide, right? They called the military on a whole-scale slaughter against America's original people. They will murder Americans with the military without question. Yeah. That is a complete and utter farce. Like, you can't go back 5 years without, being able to give an example of the military being used against American citizens.
I don't even think he got a challenge this time from the Posse Comitatus. That's what surprised me.
Yeah, nobody challenged it.
Yeah, where's the ACLU? Where is everybody?
Oh yeah, come on. Like, I hope before we get down this, I mean, really, like the healthcare argument. I mean, I know it's a total, but Jesus, guys, I don't care if you cross the aisle. I don't care if you go across party lines. I don't care how you fund it. I don't care if you got to take up a fucking collection and fund it yourself, right? I don't care if you have to shut down the government. I don't care if you have to burn this motherfucker to the ground. Get our people health care, like what you promised. Every single one of these spineless Democrats, right, went and was pounding their fists, right? We got to get we will fight tooth and nail to get the people health care, right? Every single one of them is every single Democrat. Republicans, some of them were for it, some of them weren't, or, think they need to decide it or whatever. But every Democrat, right, said they were going to fight first, tooth and nail. And as soon as they get in, they're like, oh, well, we're gonna have to try to cross party lines. That is not what I said, right? I said they better pull you out of that fucking room, kicking and screaming, give my people health care, right? That's what you promised. Gutless. Yeah. We're worried about them shutting down the government over the wall. Why aren't you shutting the government down over our fucking health care?
Well, what we need is a single payer, just like we do with Medicare.
Yeah, okay, fine. Shut that shit down. If the Republicans are willing to shut it down over a wall, why are you not willing to shut it down for your people's health? And that is what you promised. That's the deal, right? That is what they promised. And this last election isn't ancient history. I'm talking last fucking week.
Yeah, they're still talking about they might shut down the government.
No, fine. Shut it down. Turn off the lights. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you have to do, right?
Well, the only one that's pushing is Trump. So
I think I don't know. I don't know the guy on a personal level. Give me 15 minutes. Like, if any of our CIA fucking insiders are listening, give me 15 minutes. I will ask him right now, dude. Give us healthcare. The people agree on it. Like, I always wonder if you could get him on camera outside of his little underlings and whatever. I don't like the guy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying give me 15 minutes so I can tell you whether it's real or not, right? We'll shut the door and I'll be like, hey, can you just give... they will fucking love you, man. You know how many votes you will get? You give us health care? You legalize weed and give us health care. You will be the next president of the United States.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how much bad shit you did.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do at that point. You can get caught fucking blowing the Prince of Saudi Arabia. You give them weed and healthcare, right? And you have won this next election. There ain't nothing that Clinton, Bernie, or anyone else is going to say that is going to take that doobie out of somebody's hand, right? It is that simple.
I think he would lose his base. I mean, honestly, he could bring Democrats over, but I think he'd lose more of his base.
I don't think they would. I think, like, the average American, if he said, look, Obamacare wasn't working because, like, this is what I would do. Come out and say, look, Obamacare wasn't working. It was a farce. This is the real deal. I looked at it, and this is what the people are asking for, and this is what they need. By the way, I'm also legalizing marijuana. His base would vote for him.
Yeah.
Everybody
I think it's like 68% of Americans, approve of legalization of marijuana. That's a majority.
Oh, and it's upwards of 90% that believe in medical marijuana. But
Yeah.
those are like moves that they're not making. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's the deal. Like, so much of it is pomp and circumstance and all of that. I don't know him on a personal level, so I can only see the nightmare that's around him. But he's enough of a douche. I wonder if you could say, man, you want them to build you fucking statues? Right? This is what you got to do. I could care less. That's the deal. That's what makes me so angry with the Democrats, is because they're that spineless. You don't have the power to walk into his office and be like, "Look, man, me and you both know this is a game. We're going to get some some taxes for our wealthy buddies, and corporations. We want to move, we want to make a move." Those are the things that you would need to do. They can't have that conversation. You couldn't walk into his office and like, "Look, give me health care. I don't give a fuck what else happens. I'll give you anything you want. I'll build a fucking wall right now. Give me a hammer."
It's weird that these capitalists are not like legalizing like marijuana. I mean, they could make a lot of money from it too.
I think the prison industrial complex and the militarization of our police, the war on drugs, is worth so much money. I really don't think that even the people that are interested in it still have the power. They're going to suck every little tiny drop of money out of the private prison system and the war on drugs. Look what North Dakota just got their have you seen their anti-terrorism forklift? They just bought like $100 million. I shit you not. It's a forklift, an armored forklift, to fight terrorism in North Dakota.
Well, how are you going to do it with a forklift? I don't get that. What is it?
Well, I imagine it's a tactical forklift. So I imagine they're going to move tactical boxes in the tactical warehouse.
Out the tactical, yeah. It's like, that's where I was going. It's like, what do you do with that? Well, when you see this,
so the forklift part where you normally have the forks, right, that lift up and down, that's got like a platform with a bulletproof like shield in front of it that like the pigs can hide behind. And then the rest of it's like a tracked armored piece. But I imagine when they were taking it off the truck, it starts to look like you've got a cool tank for the amount that you started. And I think it started to come out and they were like, oh, yeah, we can oppress the fuck out of some water protectors with that. And then you got to the end and you were like, oh, well, where's the rest of it? Dude, this is a forklift. I think some old native like had an ultimate hustle and sold y'all a fucking forklift with some body armor welded on it.
And how much they pay for that?
Oh, it's millions. So I think it was 10 million that I had read. They sold you a forklift for $10 million to fight terrorism. They got the grant to pay for it from Homeland Security to fight North Dakota, the terrorists in North Dakota. I can tell you right now, there is not a terrorist in the Middle East from one side to the other that is going to move to North Dakota ever.
Yeah.
Do you know how fucking cold it is in the winter in North Dakota? I do. You get off of that fucking plane from Saudi Arabia and you are walking back onto the plane. You have never been that cold in your entire life. Oh yeah. You know what? The virgins aren't worth it. Fuck this.
It's tundra out there.
Oh, you've never been that cold. It's insane to think about. It's insane to think. It's absolute lunacy. Is lunacy the right word? What do you call for raving mad? Y'all have fucking lost it. But what about the terrorists in North Dakota? There are no terrorists in North Dakota. Knock that shit off, Bill.
Yeah. No. You know what they call you? They were calling you economic terrorists because you were costing the company money.
I have never been more proud in my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost something a thank you. You guys are economic terrorists. Yes, I am. Do I get a little award for that? To be honest, we are some serious, Anonymous, all of us, for the amount of resources that they spend to keep us from continuing to tell people that our governments are corrupt, right? We are job creators, right? We make so many jobs. Have you seen the size of the NSA just to monitor what we're saying?
Yeah, especially with their data centers and all that. Yeah, that's.
Oh my goodness! Every time we give a blind broadcast, they hire 4 or 5 more people. I didn't even know they could do that. We need a specialist.
Well, I guess there must be a lot of terrorists hiding around in warehouses. Boy, you need a forklift.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the number one place for terrorist action there is warehouses because of the amount of people that are there.
A lot of inanimate objects there usually. I mean, it's just storage. So
well, they had like a picture, right, of the like police departments on it trying to like look hard, you know, a couple of guys on the tracks and all of that, and it just seemed like you had a photo shoot that had to be the most awkward photo shoot. All right, Jenkins, just look hard, just look as hard as it's a forklift. I can't look any meaner on a forklift. I mean, I'm not even to be honest, I get paid $30,000 a year. Forklift operators, $50,000. I could actually drive this forklift and make more money. I'm not even qualified to drive the forklift that you're doing. You think they import, like they actually have to train a cop, or they just are going to drive that thing till someone's killed because you're not a licensed forklift driver?
Well, you have to be. It's OSHA. I mean,
I see. I've got so many questions. Like, let me see your OSHA certification because I have a sneaking suspicion that you are not trained to use a forklift.
You know, as I
around
do,
people.
Kind of
there are people around here. You can't be using a forklift around people. Oh. Those are our enemies, guys. Very powerful, very rich, dumb as fuck. They got war and guns, and they're really a one-trick pony. People are starving. Have you considered war? That'll fix it.
Oh, speaking of starving, Yemen was having peace talks this week in Sweden from the warlords, and they're already having they've already released some POWs from both sides. We'll see how this turns out. Most likely, what I'm thinking is nothing will come of these talks, but it's good that they're talking about peace, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, nothing makes you want to negotiate peace more than watching your child starve to death.
There's more going on than meets the eye. I mean, there's a proxy war going on in. I believe, no, don't quote me. I believe there are 4 or 5 factions fighting in this war.
Yeah, and the weird part is we arm all of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, we're to the point in the world where every war is a proxy war. You know, none of the countries that you think of when you think of war are producing weapons, right? They don't have an F-16 factory in Iraq or Afghanistan, right? They don't have an F-16 factory in Saudi Arabia. They make those F-16s here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I mean, these places aren't producing the weapons that are being used here.
If we don't do it, Russia supplies weapons as well.
Yeah, but that starts getting to like, okay, if you're a serial killer, well, I mean, I guess it's okay if he killed it. I guess if I didn't kill you, somebody else might have.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that some of the Russian fighter jets outperform ours because they're built better.
Well, we're to the end of fighter jets. I don't want to get too distracted.
Oh yeah. You told me that it's all going to be automated. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not just automated. It's just okay. Bottom line, a drone without a person in it can outperform every jet on the planet.
Well, because of
right?
G-forces, it can go to Mach 5 without the pilot blacking out.
Yeah, stop, turn, whatever, and they're cheaper to produce. On top of that, right, we've proved you can bomb small children day in, day night, and if an American soldier doesn't actually die from it, we don't give a fuck.
It's like remote control. It's like a video game.
Right. So at this point, drones are cheaper to produce. Right. They outperform all of them. You can a brand new jet you can outperform with a drone that costs way less. So that
I think I saw this.
Technology is over.
It started with Terminator, right?
Well, and people think about that, and you get like the dates. Oh, that never happened. You realize if you're in Afghanistan right now, you take that that real iconic scene of the Terminator, where there was those drones flying over. They were giant, right, flying over a wasteland, and people were kind of guerrilla warfare, terrorist action, fighting back against them. Right, that seems like it's completely fiction when you're sitting in America, right? But if you're in Afghanistan, that is pretty much reality. There is an unmanned machine, right, that will murder indiscriminately in the wasteland that we've created, right, at any time. At any time.
I remember
that machine is pretty close to reality. That world is pretty close to reality if you're in Yemen.
I remember Israel. Israel was the first one to come up with the remote control machine guns.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to a certain point when
they strapped it onto a car and a high-powered rifle, and they can basically, have a remote control car come and kill you.
Yeah, that is the dream, and it's because wars. I know we talked about Sun Tzu a lot on here. Wars are controlled by the people back at home. When they lose, lose interest in the war, it fizzles and the troops come home. So they have to kind of keep that from happening.
Do you think wars will be our drones versus your drones?
Eventually, I mean, and you guys know I'm a tree hugging hippie, so I mean, I would really like us to come to a time in human history where this is not the only thing that we do. Yeah. Like, yes, we can build drones to kill each other. We can use the next technology to kill each other. The technology after that. To be honest, you can use everything from a rock to a jet to murder each other. People are pretty easy to kill, right? So, I mean, we get to a point where it's like, okay, are we ever going to create a technology whose only use is not to murder each other?
I think the basic is that they can no longer like justify wars if they take too many casualties home. I mean, people don't seem to care about enemy casualties, but if there are American soldiers dying and they continue to see these coffins returning home, then the Americans, they will be against these wars eventually. I mean, they will be shocked, and when they use drones, there won't be any casualties, so they can continue with these wars endlessly. And it's the same for Israel. It has a much smaller army, so the casualties are even worse in the media.
Well, I mean, either, and as black and white as it may seem, we're either going to get over the notion that our world needs to be at war, right, or we're going to destroy ourselves.
Yeah.
The world does not have to be at war at all. These things are made up. They're fictitious. They're designed specifically to make the rich more powerful. That's it. Once we come to that conclusion, and I truly believe that the humanity will, the problems that we have, starvation, our water issues, is both in keeping it from being polluted and cleaning up the pollution we have, traveling the universe. These things are well within our grasp, but we're going to have to quit spending all of our time murdering each other. Our number one mean of production cannot be chains for prisons.
Yeah.
And that's like, I really do see there is going to come a point where, look, it doesn't matter what new technology we come out with, the end is the same. And eventually, look, once you can hammer in a nail, you don't need to do it with a laser from space. Yeah. Right? Just how to hammer that nail. Like, let's figure on something else. Imagine what we could do if we designed a drill. They're just, it's, we've been playing this, and I know the world's always been at war. Well, then the world's always been at wrong, right? We spent the first 100,000 years of human existence before we invented the wheel. We've had the wheel less time than we lived without it. As far as that's concerned, humanity has had the wheel, that's the way it's always been. We've never had the wheel. We've only had it a short amount of time, longer without it than with it. So that was wrong. We were wrong for 100,000 fucking years. Took us 50,000 years to figure out fire. We were wrong and cold and stupid. Right? And once we figured out those things and moved on, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, that's people have to actually admit they're wrong, and but the stronger your country is, and your feeling of nationalism and your feeling of being superior to others, the more difficult it will be to actually admit you're wrong. I mean, for people in power.
Yeah, I think that people are coming to certain realizations that they weren't before, whether it be that we're just living longer. right? Before, you only lived 30 years. The fact that they lied to you never found out. Now we're starting to live to the point where it's like, nah, man, you told me in 20 years, right, my house was not going to be underwater. You fucking lied, right? Like we were, I think between several of those things, connections to other people, I think times are changing. But yeah, it's an uphill battle. It always is.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
I also I don't know what should I bring up.
We haven't got to the world ending in a nuclear war. Isn't that how we
No,
end
not
the show?
yet. I don't know if anybody was following this. Hassan Al-Khantar was granted asylum in Canada. He was. It's kind of a long story, but he was stuck in an airport for 6 months over.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, he Nas Daily showed his video and his story, and Nas Daily has like 5 million subscribers to his Facebook page. And when he produced his video, there was some flack, and the Malaysian government picked it up, and they took him, and they figured out what was going on, and they put him in an immigration hold. But the Malaysian government was cool about it. They wanted to offer him, they offered him a 30-day visa, but they didn't offer any guarantees after that. And Hassan declined it. And the Muslim, there's something in Canada. It's like a Muslim asylum program or something like that. They agreed to be his sponsor in Canada, and they gave him a job right away at the Whistler Hotel in Whistler. It's a little north of Vancouver. And
when it comes to a lot of countries in the Commonwealth, right? When you get there, especially if you're an asylum seeker, you just get moved faster. You get a lot of other things if you have a sponsor. So they don't like it as much when people come and you don't know anybody, you don't have anybody, you don't have a job or any of that stuff, where it's much easier to get in the country if you say, hey, I'm working at this place, I've got these people, and your processing gets done so much faster.
Yeah, and I was surprised that he was there for 6 months, and everybody was saying, how does he afford it? Actually, the Malaysian airport people were really cool. They hooked him up with food every day, but they gave him the same food every day. So
yeah, like there was a lot of support. I saw he was like living underneath the
stairs.
Escalator.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I do know that he did get support from the people that were working at the airport.
Could you imagine being stuck in a terminal for 6 months?
Oh my God, in those chairs. Like, it would be comfortable for the first 15 minutes, and then, it would turn into a nightmare. I'd get one of those, like, go and take over one of those, like, the coin-operated massage chairs. Right? I think that would be where I would go.
I don't know, and sleeping, and, like, everybody, you're in a busy airport, and there's always people moving around. It's like, I don't know if I could do that,
Well, and you guys don't know maybe a lot of people do, but the benefits of the USO. Oh my God, USO is awesome. So if you're like, and I still, as a veteran, I still go to the USO. It's great. So when you're in the airports, when you're traveling internationally, if you're military or a veteran, then you get to go. It's like a lounge. And they've got food and coffee and internet and lounge chairs and a shower and anything you want, all for free. They give you breakfast in the morning. A lot of times you'll get like cabs or like shuttle buses, but you just have to walk in and show your ID. But the USO is awesome. And there's times where you'll be flying, like I get to fly space available. So you'll get a destination, but not a flight. So you could be in the airport for a day, 2 days, a week, waiting for a flight to come up that has an opening on it that you can fly. But then when it happens, you fly for free.
And you also got free food as well.
Yeah, so you just sit in the USO waiting for an opening to happen on a military jet. or on a plane.
You know, with Hassan's story, because you know if he was going to be deported back to Syria, they were going to put him in jail for defecting from joining the SDF or the Syrian Defense Force or whatever, because he didn't want to kill his own people, because it was, you know, that was his reasoning. So what he pulled off was like 1 in a million, you know. Like, that was like a storybook tale. You know, when I thought he got deported or he went to immigration with Malaysia, I thought they were seriously going to send him back to...
He got lucky in Malaysia, because Malaysia, although it's Malaysia simply Asia, it is a very high majority Muslim country. I think most of the people, I don't know the demographics, but most of the people that I met in KL were Muslim.
Yeah.
So, although it is part of Asia and culturally and food and all of that, it's kind of a big melting pot. Most of the people that you run into are Muslims. So there probably was a little bit of support where normally if you and I went there, we weren't getting any love.
Yeah.
Malaysia's hard. The 30-day visa is just a normal visa. In fact, I think I took a 90-day tourist visa in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to go back and look at it, but I think they even offer a 90-day tourist visa, but you can't work when you're there.
Yeah, and the problem is that, you know, once that 30 days are up, where does he go? He'd be in violation of his thing, and then the second he went into anywhere to go take a flight, he would be deported.
Yeah, so like you'd have to cross. What we would always do for crossing the borders in between there, you end up having to like jump between a few different countries.
Yeah.
So like Malaysia's got a 3-month, and then Cambodia, and you end up just crossing Myanmar. You cross through all of the countries, and by the time you go across the border one time, your visa resets.
Oh,
so you can,
yeah, that's what what's his name is doing. Yeah, I follow a guy that does that. That's how he's living in Thailand.
Yeah, so Thailand, you've got 2 ways, right? You either go to the casinos on the outside, on the outside between Cambodia. You cross into into Cambodia, and then you literally turn around and come back. I think you have to spend 24 hours there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Myanmar, I took I slipped away in Myanmar. I do not advise doing that under any circumstances. But they've got like a couple hour visa that you just pretty much step on the side of Myanmar and then back onto Thailand, and you take the river there, and you reset your visa that way. I used that as an opportunity to put on my sunglasses and take off on a scooter. But from then on, I had to like come back in through another country, and I doubt I can go back to Myanmar. I also doubt they keep good records.
That does that is Azerbaijan. They have you can only be there for 24 hours.
Yeah, there's a couple of countries, especially if there's something interesting going on, there's a couple of countries you can't stay there for long unless you've got a specific reason to be there, and they don't really hand them out. If you're not like a land prospector or something like that, you're not getting in. I got away with it because I kind of, with my glasses on and the Chinese tattoos, right, on a scooter, I looked like your average, like Malaysian, Thailand, Burmese. You wouldn't, until you stopped and talked to me, you wouldn't look twice at me. But if you were Western, running around in Myanmar, that's the pirates will get you for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck. You'd never make it back out of there. Pirates, guys. Beware of pirates. If somebody tells you that there are pirates on that river, that is no joke. Oh, goodness. Everybody be quiet. Pirates. What?
Google. I guess the Google CEO showed up in front of Congress last week over a bias on its search engine.
Yeah, and they got caught during the campaign, downing Bernie posts or stories and promoting Clinton stories. They've been caught several times doing that.
Yeah, that's why I don't trust Google searches. I do use DuckDuckGo and some other search engines that I won't mention here. But
there's going to be some big changes as time goes on. I know as Google goes down the line, but coming up here, from the people that I know that work inside of Google, there are going to be some real changes in the next, you know, 10
There
to 12 years.
I can tell you that I've personally done searches where when you do a search, they will give you like a reason why they're not showing any listings,
Yeah.
and there is a quite a bit, actually a lot of censorship on their search engines, and some of it's political, some of it is legal, and some of it is just I don't know what the fuck their thinking is.
Yeah. But I do know that the people that are working for Google are not
On
digging
board,
it,
yeah.
right?
There's a lot of shit going on with Google, yeah.
So I mean, I do know quite a few people that work for Google, and I mean, they're working their way up the chain, but they're working their way up the chain with the like ideas of what Google could be. You know, their ideas are not quite as profit driven, and you know what they want it to be used are completely different. I'm like excited to see as they take over more and more.
I don't know. When I see Google products, what I see is a lot of innovation, but a sea of garbage products.
Well, that's the deal because all that
They build a
innovation
lot.
is
They
like,
build a lot of garbage shit like that I wouldn't buy. I would never buy a Chromebook, because it's a not
trash.
you know what I mean. It's fucking trash. Like
Yeah.
they're not using optimum processors, minimal amounts of RAM, good screen. I'm not gonna lie there, good camera, but I wouldn't use open.
Well,
Everything embedded into the operating system is Google and priority and open source and free. And you know, sometimes, you know, when it comes to certain things, I would actually pay for a suite to make it look a little better. You know.
well, it's just like I enjoy, especially when it comes to some of the softwares that are out there. It's just like I don't mind paying someone for a good piece of software, even open source. I donate to open. You know, it's got a little donate side on the side.
Oh yeah,
I donate to open
I'm
source
a Linux
programs.
guy, you know, and you know I'm totally for open source, but there are just certain things that you can't get that you can get on a like Adobe Suite, like.
Oh yeah.
And I got a lot of bad shit to say about Adobe, but they do have a great product.
I use the fuck out of After Effects.
They're just
Oh my God.
they're just fucking thieves when it comes to their product. They make you, you know. I remember at one point, if you wanted the whole Adobe suite, it was like $5,000, and you know, and me, I already, you know, me and my friend back in the day already knew how to, you know, run that DLL link so that it can't verify, but you still have a
Yeah,
good
so I
version.
mean, I
Yeah.
was gonna ask. I sure hope you're, I sure hope you're not paying for software.
No, but now they make you pay for a monthly subscription, and it's like $100 a month, but it can get more expensive depending on what you need. And you know, Adobe does have some great.
Oh,
shit.
is that for what the Adobe? What is that called? Because I don't use. I use After Effects, and I know like. I guess yeah. I don't. Well, I'm just not going into all of that. I just like I'm not. I don't think that's truly.
All I can tell, you know, all I can say about Adobe is that Adobe has made a lot of bad moves. So much so that they've made their scripting language, which was ActionScript and Shockwave, obsolete, and that is because of the Adobe mindset, dominance, and literally pissing off the competition. I remember because Apple was the one that said that they wouldn't support Shockwave or ActionScript, and that was the demise of a scripting language, and it was a shit language. You know, it was totally fucking copycat of JavaScript. You know.
Yeah, I mean that's the deal. Like it was just JavaScript that you didn't want to call.
It was a little
Java.
different. It was a little different. You know, it did have some cool built-in shit, but it really wasn't a good scripting language.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know where Google is going. I mean, they have a lot of innovation. They do some really good shit, but like most of their products are garbage.
Well, I think they're trying, like most of these companies. I think that company has such potential, but they're trying to like fit in the constraints of, well, the market is, whatever that market is, right? We're making laptops. Well, no matter what great innovations your programmers and people are having, you can only compress it into a laptop. Well, that's totally not what I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Google Home was a great product, but did they support it? Did they market it right? No. Amazon came in and said, "Hey, we're going to do an Alexa." And this is not a new concept about a personal assistant.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of companies have done it, but Amazon said, "Hey, we can improve upon this. We can market it, and we're going to offer long term support for this thing." And that's something that Google didn't do.
Well, even here, they're supposed to be ending Google Hangouts.
Are they?
Like altogether, yeah.
When?
And it's coming up here. I forget the date that they put on, but yeah, I remember seeing it. But yeah, they're going to be ending Google Hangouts altogether here.
Oh shit! I didn't even hear about that. Oh my god! Why do you tell me this shit?
Sorry.
Hold on.
Yeah, you're looking it up right now.
March 2017. Okay, so we got to move back on to Discord.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh well. Well, Discord's better because when you guys talk on Discord, I can adjust the volume on each person that's speaking, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, in here I'm either screaming like loud or you can't hear me at all.
Yeah.
Hey, well, your sound is perfect now, Terrence. I mean, a whole show.
Oh yeah, and the truck wasn't here this week.
We're gonna have to move back to Discord for the show because.
We can have like 100 people in the show at the same time, or like 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun to try to. We'll be like herding cats.
Why are they abandoning Hangouts? Like a lot of there's quite a few people that use Hangouts,
Yeah, I really it's probably my longest the longest running messaging and conference app that I've used. I think I've had Google Hangouts longer than anything else.
You're to the programmer. If you could get rid of the piano sound when people are messaging and make it and just not have any like some annoying sound, maybe more people would use it.
Maybe we'll be able to buy it. We'll run a.
They do have G Suite, which is the paid version of Google Hangouts, where you can have like 100 people on there.
I'm sure they want us to pay for that.
Yeah, we might look into that.
Fuck them. Like now I know why they're shutting it down, because they've got a paid version. Why gotta be dicks like that? You don't have enough money? Knock it off. Come on.
Well,
We're just chatting on here, having a good time.
Like another example of Google innovation. Okay, Google offers Google Voice. Most people don't know that Google Voice is on there, right? Google Voice is a really good program. If you are homeless and you have no money, you will still be able to make phone calls like on any device if you have a Google account, you have a Google Voice account. And
well, a Gmail account. If you have a Gmail account,
if you have a Gmail account, you have all the Google products. But Google never marketed it. It's only supported in the United States. It's not supported anywhere else. But honestly, it's a fairly decent product, but they don't know how to market it. Most people don't even know it exists.
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, most people don't even realize that it exists. And that's been Google's issue from the get-go. In comparison to Microsoft, they market the hell out of every piece of shit that they pop out there.
Well, Microsoft is in decline, and they know it. That's why
they became the most powerful most powerful company in the planet.
Well, what I'm seeing is
quietly in the background.
What I'm seeing it right now with Microsoft is a crossbreeding of Linux integration into Microsoft, and that might be because Linux is becoming bigger more recently, because there's a lot of Linux gaming is a thing now. and that really brought a lot more people to Linux. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big surge in the next few years into more people using Linux. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, what happened with Steam? Steam was supposed
Steam,
to, you know, was
every Steam, almost 90% of the Steam library you can play on Linux.
on Linux.
Now,
Yeah, like
and drive support was always an issue with on Ubuntu there were certain network interface cards, and sound is always an issue. Now we're not seeing a lot of these problems anymore.
Yeah. Well, I know that what they were supposed to come out with their own Linux-based OS, and I don't know what happened with that. But it was, I mean, that was Steam's thing, and then the Steam machine, I don't know what happened to it.
Well, I mean, I'm a Linux user on the daily, and I know the ins and outs of a lot of the variations that are out there. I mean, and there's a lot of different types of Linux, out there, and
Yeah.
some of them are some of the distros are absolute garbage, and some of them are really good. John, didn't Red Hat went public, and I don't know how they did that. They're for profit.
Yeah, they are, but they also deliver like support services for server owners and stuff. And
I don't understand how they can go be for profit and break the GNU agreement. I don't know how they did that.
no, some get away with it. There are more, but yeah, if you talk about that kind of stuff, I mean, Android is also like pretty much Linux based, right? And,
It's similar.
also clearly,
the kernel's there. Yeah.
And about Microsoft, Microsoft kind of is responsible for the rise of Apple, because Apple once almost went bankrupt, and Bill Gates pretty much bought like millions and millions of Apple stock.
Yeah.
Because at that point Microsoft was being attacked by American regulators for like dominating the market, and they were like looking to split up Microsoft. So he made like a very smart move to like fund Apple into becoming big, and these were all shares without any influence, so it was all pure money. I don't know what Microsoft's going to do, but about that Google thing, it's very stupid. Like Google Talk, Google Plus. I mean, they have everything to replace Facebook already, but why aren't they doing it?
Because they don't know how to market it. They never market it.
Yeah, they're just terrible at marketing it.
Most people don't know when you have a Google account, you've already have a G+, you already have a Hangouts account. I mean, you already got everything in there.
Google Docs.
A lot of people don't know that this is, that these services are already there when you get a Gmail account.
Yeah, well, YouTube is doing so well always for Google. I don't know. It's
when they partnered up.
and Gmail too. I mean, Gmail and YouTube together would be larger than Facebook, I think. So.
Yeah, I do too. But they'd have to really want it,
Yeah. I get it. Like Google Talk would like. I've never used it, but I mean, like what you're saying is like you can just talk to each other without like paying a thing. I mean, it would be. They
give you a VoIP number, and works just like a normal number. It's got messaging. It has answering service for you, and it emails you. It's so cool that when you get a message, it emails you the text version of what was said in the message.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like how Google doesn't respect your privacy and all of that, but they do have like the best coders there are. I mean, they make all this stuff. I mean, they should do a little more marketing.
Well, yeah, and I mean, they go out of their way to recruit some of the best or just most talented programmers they can. There's a lot of great ideas come out of there. It's just their application is shite.
Well, they're moving more into military
applications. Yeah, there was a lot of
and the Chinese, working more for them than us.
Yeah, and huge amounts of cloud computing. I mean, just huge amounts of cloud storage. Microsoft, that is. Like their operating
Oh.
system is almost an afterthought at this point. When you look at the numbers,
Hangouts is not getting discontinued. They're splitting it into Hangouts Chat, and they're making it like Slack.
oh, that might be cool.
Yeah, so we don't have to get rid of it, and they're making Hangouts Meet, and it's more like a Skype application, so we might have to migrate onto there.
Yeah.
I hate Slack. I really do.
It comes up so often. Like everybody likes Slack for
No,
like
I
20
don't.
minutes.
I don't. You know, I don't like it. You know, I was working with a company. I was a systems administrator, and I don't like it how anybody in the company can contact anybody, like people you don't even know. And I'm just like, when you have thousands of workers like in the background, you're like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Like why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Why are you messaging? Why are you trying to correct my fucking punctuation errors? Like, shut up. Anyway.
I don't want to install all these things. Like, like it sucks to install all these apps on your computer to even do this thing. I just use this Hangouts from the browser. I don't install anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even need a browser plugin anymore in this new Firefox I'm using. So I don't have to install anything. It's just basic Firefox. And I know it uses also an app and stuff, but if you don't need it, then don't install it. So I hope they wait a little with that move to Skype style stuff.
Yeah. We'll see how it turns out. Like they haven't really, like I said, I think a couple of other times they said, they're gonna discontinue it or not, run it anymore, and we're still on Hangouts. So.
yeah, I read that too. They've been saying it from like 2016 or something. So.
Yeah.
Oh, they're getting rid of Allo too, the artificial intelligence thing. That sucks.
Does that count as murder?
Yeah, I guess.
Like turning off the artificial intelligence?
I forget what it was used for. I only played around with it for I played around with the beta version for a minute, but I really don't remember what the fuck it was used for. Oh well. I know I'm not missing it.
I don't know, did we cover everything, Tyler?
No,
what do we got?
So I've been seeing a decrease in the coverage of the immigrants in the caravan, even though there's 10,000 people on the border trying to seek asylum, and I have no idea why nobody's covering this anymore. Like, it's fucking bizarre. Like, you think
Well, I mean, we did have good information. The propaganda network, that 88.1 Fargo Moorhead, sons of bitches, like outed all of our guys that were with the asylum seekers. So we've kind of had a lull of in information coming from the border.
Yeah. Well, I know. Unicorn Riot is covering, and so are a lot of like independent, news outlets are covering what's going on over on the Tijuana side. And,
yeah, we've got in Tijuana like the just water, the normal water protectors that are driving down there that are get into that stuff. So.
Also, if you guys, to our listeners, if you don't subscribe to Unicorn Riot, you can reach them on Facebook and Twitter. And I think
they took down their Facebook. You have to get them on Twitter now.
Okay,
I think it's part 2, maybe Unicorn Riot V2 or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's at Unicorn Riot, and their viewership has gone down significantly. So if you could subscribe and like to them, like on their Twitter feed, they do live videos at least once a day or a couple times a day on their thing. They do some really good. I mean, they were there throughout Standing Rock. They were out there through Ferguson, and they were there for. Where have they not been?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, Unicorn Riot is one of those groups. I run into them everywhere.
They're like ninjas, like they're like ninjas. You know, they come up in a van, you know, with all their streaming material, and they're like in places where nobody will go. You know.
Yeah, I love it. But you know, with all of that, when the big purge came from you know, off of Facebook, where they took down Police the Police and Alex Jones, Unicorn Riot, all of those pages got taken down, and it takes forever to recover from it. So like when my first Twitter page came down, we were at like 1 million followers on Twitter. You know, it's like it takes forever to recover back from that again.
Yeah,
You don't start back up the next day with a replacement 1 million followers. Half of those people don't even notice.
Yeah, you need to make another account because your account is fucked.
Oh, I am so hated. It's cool. Whatever. Like we're still here, we're still broadcasting. Like it's just I get on there, I get on there and talk shit to Trump every once in a while. That's fun.
Well, these big pages should have listened a bit more to ABB, I guess. I mean, we warned them all that this would happen, so yeah, we pretty much warned them. I mean, we said like you have to get off now because this stuff will happen to you. Like,
yeah, it's constant.
Yeah, to our viewers on Facebook, get off as soon as you can. Migrate off. Get onto a different platform.
It's going to get worse, guys. Really, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, you can watch your cat videos and your friends on another platform if you want to. You know.
Yeah, and it'll happen quick. Like people will be off Facebook so fucking fast as soon as stuff is going on other platforms.
Well, literally, like every week, there's something about Facebook. It's only a matter of time before somebody gets charged with a criminal, something criminal. You know.
Yeah.
And the purge is also happening like in secret. They're not noticing it because they're too much busy with doing their own little drama fights and stuff. But if you do a search for like Guy Fawkes on there and you check like profiles, you will find a few hundred now. And if you checked it 5 years ago, you would find like 100,000 of them.
Oh,
easily.
if not more.
Yeah, and
if you post news stories they don't like, you know, or they've concluded that it's
you can't do. That's one thing I don't like about Facebook is they want everything to be transparent, even who you are. Like, why should I have to go onto a social media, use my real name, and show you my government-issued ID card, and give you my fucking phone number?
Yeah, like you don't know how to find my IP.
Yeah,
right. Like being like you don't know where I'm at.
Yeah. Now, you know, people can see on the back end of pages, you know, where the users are living. Why should I have to give up? You know, this is going to backfire upon them, especially, you know, where people have to have anonymity because it's a necessity. You know, this is going to backfire on them. You know, real quick. You know.
I think it's already doing that. I mean, they're already losing money fast on the stock markets, and
I think we've had some pretty big crashes the last 2 days.
Their stock price has gone from what, 250 to 130.
Yeah.
And then it goes up a bit to 140 or something, and then it goes down again in the long term. It is really collapsing, and it's weird because Instagram was actually growing. So yeah.
Mark is fucking that company up as well. The creators of Instagram left this year. Was it this year or was it last year?
This year still. This year.
Yeah, the creators of Instagram left because of what Mark wants to do with it. Mark Zuckerberg wanted to, when you take a picture on Instagram, whether you know it or not, it gives the geolocation on the picture, and that's part of the app and your mobile device, kind of both working at this on that. And what Mark wanted to do is he wanted to make that as a source of revenue. I really don't know the ins and out about how he wanted to use it, but I'm just saying that he wanted to use your location to make money off of something. And the creators of Instagram were like, what? No, fuck this, I'm out, you know?
Yeah, but that's why he's taking it so far Zuckerberg also with like what Terrence was saying. They already have your IP, right? But they want your ID card too, because yeah, technically anyone can be behind your computer or on your connection, and they want to make sure it's actually you doing it. So
Yeah,
they're
but
so
why?
obsessed with you as a
Yeah,
person.
like why do you need to know
Who I am.
you know, if it's really me that's posting pictures of whatever the fuck I'm posting about? Like why? Why do you need to know that?
Yeah, and even for products, why isn't a household enough, right? Why do you have to need to know
Do you want my
this
tax
specific
forms?
person?
Do you want my you know?
Oh yeah, they do. They do. Medium income, male or female, height, age, right? Everything. They need everything. I'm telling you, they remind me of those. What are the Sprungers? What are those? The aliens on Futurama that need all of your personal information.
Yeah, yeah, and but like for buying products, I don't even understand why it's needed so much. I mean, you have like a household thing. You have like 4 or 5 people, or sometimes more, living in a household, and they might buy stuff together and things, but they're so obsessed with one person. Like every specific person in a household needs to be like identified when he goes on and off, and it's sickening.
Yeah, yeah. It just seems like, well, I mean,
Oh, we
why
got a
do you
minute and a
need
half.
all of that?
We got a minute and a
Uh-oh.
half, guys.
Uh-oh. Well,
Yeah.
like always, thanks to all of our viewers. Thanks for sharing this out. Jeez, we got Commander X on here. Like, I love this. Our shows are doing so well.
Yeah, and we're working on getting Yellowfest on Silas Jan, so that would be exciting.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
If you guys have suggestions of guests and stuff that you'd like us to try to get a hold of, feel free to comment on there. And you know, sometimes people don't notice, but we'll always give it a go.
Somebody asks how you can get on the show. You can message the Facebook page if you want to, or I don't check it very often. Or you can message John on Facebook, or you can message
On Twitter. I'm not on Facebook.
Oh, sorry, Twitter. My bad. I'm
Twitter,
sorry.
yeah, man.
Twitter at ABB Live, or you can message pretty much anybody on here. I'll probably talk more about it on the show, but we do screen guests because we've had some fantastic,
some fun ones
with some people that were deleting people out of the chat. Yeah, so we do screen, and I'll put more information about that, and I'll roll out with the credits, and we'll be back next Thursday at 7:00.
Dun 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 dun.
Still safe, guys.
Spay and neuter all politicians.
Declare this to be an unlawful assembly.